Okay, so before we start off again, we have just had discussion about what is economics. It is all about the best utilization of resources, optimum utilization of resources to bring about maximum satisfaction. That is what is economics all about. It can apply to a nation as a whole. The economic fundamental can apply to a nation as a whole, an individual organization, and individual industry. So when we study individual industry, economics of individual industry, firm or individuals, that is microeconomics. When we study economics of a nation as a whole, that is macroeconomics. Combined together is used by managers, and it leads to what we term as managerial economics, where economic theory is used by managers for their practical decision making. So that is what is uh, managerial economics. Now I will be discussing some basics, some portion which is the basic, which is related to the basic concept in economics, and we will start off with the discussion with see, in microeconomics we study the economics of a firm. So let us first talk about what is the economics of a firm. I mean, what all we should study to analyze the economic fundamental of a firm or an organization. So in front of you there is a slide which depicts the basic structure of any organization, which has inputs that needs to be processed and they produce output. All of you can see this. Now if I have to see this organization from the economic angle, what all do you think I need to analyze for this? My question to you is that if we consider the basic structure of any organization, okay, so you personally feel that the cost should be taken care of and cost should be optimized, or we can say cost should be minimized. Okay, so cost of resources is one such thing which will help us analyze it economically. Any other factor that you feel is important? Availability of resources, okay, capacity, availability of resources, inputs. Okay, Ritesh, I get this factor from you, which is demand. Why do you think demand should be analyzed? I mean, I'm particularly asking you, Ritesh, why do you think that demand will give us the economic angle? I will answer the question. The answer is, if we are able to analyze the demand of the product, then only we will be able to produce as per what is required in the market. The reason being, if we overproduce, suppose demand is less and we overproduce in the market, there will be inventory that will be left for us, which leads to wastages, losses, and uses of inputs in an unoptimal manner. Okay, so we need to study the demand, because if we overproduce or underproduce, that will not lead to the optimum state. Okay, so demand needs to be studied. That is absolutely correct. So we can right now we have mostly analyzed two factors from your responses. I have gathered that two factors need to be analyzed, that is cost and demand. What about market structure, Kiran? You have written down market structure. What do you mean by market structure, Kiran? What is the meaning of market structure over here, and how it will give us the economic angle? No, market structure is all about the competition. Okay, so it's not only the demand of your own product that you need to analyze to be economically good. You have to see what all are the strategies of competitors, how they are pricing their product, how their strategies, how their demand for their demand can affect your demand. Okay, so market structure also has to be studied, because if you are producing without the knowledge of the competition, then possibly you will not be able to optimize on it. That is where market structure also needs to be studied. That is, market structure is nothing but the competition. Okay, whether there are many players in the market, suppliers in the market. So we can say demand, cost and market structure, that is one thing that has come up. Of course we need to understand the production also. The reason being, production process has to be optimum. That is, the combination of input, if input and output has to be optimum, then the production has to be optimum. Okay, so if we have to understand the economics of a firm, then we need to study production also. Apart from demand, we need to understand even the supply part also, that how the product is supplied in the market, how it is being distributed in the market, how it is being taken forward in the market, so that it is available for the consumers, so on and so forth. So we can say that it is, again I am repeating, demand, production, cost, market structure, and of course the price of the product. I'll just go deep down into it. The price of the product, it is the price of the product which actually has embedded in it the profits from the product. Okay, any organization looks forward to profitability, and it is the price that gives it where the profit can change if the price change in the market. So apart from the demand, how the output is being priced in the market, how much profitability can be extracted from the market, all these factors are studied in economics. Okay, yeah, resources, as far as are concerned, it is all about the cost of the inputs, Dinakar. Okay, it is the cost of the inputs. When we talk about, we are talking about the resources. Yes, you can say technology is a part of it, but broadly speaking, if we have to analyze any organization and its economic angle, we need to understand these topics, and what all is coming in your mind will be a part of one of these topics. Like for example, technology, as you said, is a part of the demand as a chapter. Okay, so there are many angles related to it. There are many factors related to it, to these this basic structure, and these all will be sub parts or subdivisions of these particular topics that we have discussed. Of course, there might be some other economic angles that need to be analyzed, but these are the few which have the strategic importance for any organization when we see it economically. So we say that for an organization, if we have to work out its economics, we should study its demand, we should study its production process and how optimum it is. We should look forward to optimum cost, where the cost has to be minimized. We should see the competition, we should see supply, we should see profit, we should see price. Okay, because price has profits embedded in it. Absolutely correct, Om Prakash. Very good. I am really happy that because of the scarce resources of bad technology, still you are being able to utilize my class. That is the economics portion. Very good, Om Prakash. So, as you all can understand, this is nothing but the scope, or what we term as what all are the topics that we are going to cover up in managerial economics. Okay, so managerial economics, as you all understand, is all about the internal and operational issues, that is the microeconomic part. So we are going to study theory of production in the coming times. We are going to study theory of demand. We are going to understand what is a market structure, that is the competition, what is a pricing theory, and a little bit about financial portion, which has now been excluded from your syllabus. So we will be studying in the coming times. We will be starting off with demand, we will be doing production, we will be trying and cover up the cost as a chapter, then we will be doing market structures, and then we will be doing certain portions of macroeconomics that I'll discuss later on. So this becomes the scope of managerial economics. These all topics are included in the scope of managerial economics. We are going to study all these topics in detail in the coming time. Now with this understanding of microeconomics, where we are going to managerial economics, where we are going to understand the topics that are demand, supply, cost, production, so on and so forth. This is your syllabus also, let me tell you. Another question that comes to my mind is, like, for example, when I talked about cost, demand, price or profit, are these all variables or these are constants? What all are these factors for an organization? Like production or cost, demand, supply, these all are variables. All of us understand. What is a variable? I don't think so I should discuss this portion, that what is a variable. Okay, so all of us understand what are variables. All of us understand that these all factors like cost, production, demand, price, all are variables in nature. Okay, that is what brings us closer to the fact that economics is a subject which is related to basic mathematics also. Some portion of mathematics is also included in economics. That brings us closer to this fact that economics, managerial economics or economics, is related to mathematics. Are you all facing the problem of voice breakage? Are you all facing the problem of voice breakage? Okay. Okay. What about others? What about others? Please check your ends, because where I am sitting, I have a wonderful network out here. Is it clear now? Is it better now? What about others? No, is it okay now? Voice is better now, or it was better? It's better? No, voice might break. The reason being, internet connectivity is one such problem, and I'm sitting in Mumbai. So, voice might, network connectivity might be a problem, but okay, so that must be the time lag, because at my end I'm having a very good internet speed, so there should be no problem as such. Okay, it's breaking, then it must be the connectivity problem. Okay, yeah, I'll continue, don't worry. I just wanted to check on that what is happening at your ends, because that is important. The effectiveness of a session that is taken off is very important. That if we are spending some 3 hours, then it should make sense. It should be effective. Okay. So assuming that but I'm assuming that most of you have understood what I'm trying to discuss in the session. So assuming that most of you have understood what I have tried to talk about till now. I will go further on, and I'll talk about some basic concepts that are being used in economics for better understanding the variables. So as we already say, what are variables, we all understand, and that is what brings us closer to the fact that economics is all about, or managerial economics is all about variables that need to be analyzed. Okay, so to understand these basic concepts, I will give you a very simple and small exercise for those who do not understand what this means. They can you need not understand what exactly demand is or what is the definition of demand. Whatever is your common sense, based on your common sense, you have to analyze what all are the factors in India that have led to that have led to the increased demand for cars in India, that have had an impact over the demand for cars in Indian scenario. Of course, it is only not one factor that might have an impact. There are multiple factors that that are there. So I will like all of you to write down the factors that have had an impact over the demand for cars in Indian scenario. Okay, so you can write down the factors in your notebooks first, and then we are going to discuss. I'm going to give you 2 minutes time for this. Yes, quality of cars, income growth, national income growth, no good public transports, price, loan facilities, availability, service, disposable income. Very good answers I'm getting. Increasing traffic congestions, population, increase in standard of living, fuel price, traffic again. Okay, fuel prices, safety, etc, etc. Okay, so of course, yes, there are many factors. Fuel prices is one big factor that can have an impact over the cars, of course, but with the fuel price rising, even the income levels of Indian middle class has gone up, with the increased facilities being given for the loan facilities that has been provided, that has led to an ever increasing demand for cars in India. Of course, the services that are being provided, the quality, the product, the price, the model, the kind of comfort levels that one gets in a car, these all are the factors that have actually led to demand, that actually affect the demand for cars in India. Okay, so to talk about it, we can put these factors. Of course, you have not given me price as a factor. Do you think price as a factor can also have an impact for a product like cars? Okay, okay, you some of you have given it. Of course, the prices do have an impact for when we talk about, say, a product like car. We can write all these factors like this, whereas complementary product for cars is a fuel price, as I've written it down, and price of substitutes could be substitutes for cars available in the market. It could be vans, it could be two-wheelers, which are which can be considered to be a substitute for car as a product. It could be consumer taste and preferences, it could be credit facilities, it could be distribution of national income that has grown up in Indian scenario. There can be n number of factors. I'll come to this, Amrita. There can be n number of factors which we can write down in order to examine that what all are the factors that have led to the demand for cars in India. Okay, is these factors that we have determined, they are constants or they are variables? What do you think? The factors that we have determined, these are constants or variables. These are also variables. So basically managerial economics or economics is the study of variables. Okay, so yes, these are all variables. Now mathematically speaking, we can write these variables in an expression form, and this expression can be written as, I have written down D as the demand forecast, and x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 as the variables which affect the demand forecast in Indian scenario. So is the last expression that I have written down, that is demand is equal to function of x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, so on so forth, is clear everybody? Okay, so that is where we bring ourselves closer to the fact that it is not only the study of variables, we need to study the relationship between these variables in economics. That is more important. That is where we arrive at something which is known as a functional relationship. That is, this expression that has been written is pronounced as demand is equal to function of x1, x2, so on and so forth. Function, when we write this expression, function reveals that there is a relationship between these variables, that one variable can have an impact over another variable, that is demand, that is being discussed in this example, where demand is a dependent variable and x1, x2, x3, x4, these all are independent variables which are having an impact on the dependent variable, that is demand. Okay, is this clear everybody? Is this clear everybody? Okay, so with this we will be coming to a fact that it is not only the variables that we are going to study in economics, it is what is the relationship between these variables that we will be covering up in economics. Okay, now as I've already told you, yes, Ahmed, please focus on the slide that I am displaying uh, for more time. Now focus on this slide. Focus on this slide, everybody, and this functional relationship, all of you can understand from this slide, I guess so. Yes, Amrita, it is more about chapter number 2. Yes. Okay, so this is a functional relationship where it identifies that there can exist a relationship between the two. Okay, so basically in managerial economics we study variables, and it is not only the variables that we study the relationship between these variables. That is what is managerial economics all about. Okay, now to talk about these functional relationship, that is the basic fundamental here, I am going to display another slide to you, and just take a look at the slide and explain that slide to me. Please have a look at this slide and just give me your views on this slide. I'm going to put my microphone on mute for this. Please give your views about this slide. What is see this table out here, you all can make out very easily that when population goes up, sugar consumption goes up. So these two factors, one is population, which is variable, sugar consumed another variable. These two are clearly related. As you all can see, population increasing, sugar consumed also increasing in this case. Am I right? Okay, so not every time it is 20% if you are going to calculate, Naveen. So please do your calculations once again. Okay, so we all can easily make out that there is a relationship between these two variables, and of course this relationship again is is highlighting that two variables can be connected. Okay. Okay, so I think with that this discussion of correlation and regression analysis, I will be winding up my class at around 4 today. The reason being, I'm sitting in uh, not in a studio, but at some place where it is not easy to take a session. So I will be winding off my session a little bit early, and I will be covering up the session in the next class. So please do not worry, whatever time is allocated to me, I will be completing the time, and if required I'll be taking some extra sessions. I am unfortunately not in my office today, so we will be winding up 1 hour early for the session today. Now as you can see this over here, that is the population and the sugar consumed. Okay, now this table only shows us correlation and regression analysis. Hello, hello. Now can you hear me clearly, everybody? We'll be winding up the session now with this note. Now can you hear me clearly, everybody? I'm really sorry for the disturbance today. Okay, so with this discussion I will be winding up the session today. That is just I will take not more than 15 minutes time from now onwards. Can you all hear me now? Yeah, can you all hear me now? I'm really sorry. Yes, I'll be winding up in 15 minutes time now. See, when we talk about a data, then this data is not the complete story for us. Even if some strategic decision has to be taken by the organization, this data is not the complete story, where organizations, they have to establish the relationship between two variables. For establishing the relationship between two variables, mathematicians and economists use a relationship or a mathematical tool which is known as correlation and regression analysis. Have you ever heard about correlation and regression analysis? Do you know what is regression and correlation analysis? Yeah, please guide me towards what is correlation and regression analysis. I'll definitely explain, Tanjeet. Okay, see, okay, so only heard about it. See, you will be doing this in your statistics in your subject, that is quantitative techniques. See, when we talk about economics or any other decision making that is done by managers, it involves variables. This mathematical tool is used to establish the relationship between the variables. That is, when we take this into consideration, with the help of correlation analysis, we are able to establish the fact that the two variables are related to each other. As you can see in the given data, these two variables are related to each other. Okay, there can be certain other variables, for example, population of a country and other variable, for example, the number of hair on my head. So there is no connectivity in it. That is where we say that when we talk about, say, two variables which are not interconnected or not related, then there is no correlation between the two variables. What about others? You are not able to hear me? Okay, so what I'll do is, okay, okay. So what I'll do is, I will wind up the session today here only, and this 1.5 hours extra I will be continuing in the other sessions. I will wind up here with the the discussion that all the variables that are studied in managerial economics, they need to be seen from the angle of the relationships, and it is the correlation and regression analysis which helps us in identifying the relationship between the two. With this note, I am ending my session today. Just a recap of whatever I have discussed today. I'll just put on the slides for you guys, and we will be discussing these mm, correlation and regression analysis and other topics in the next class. So just a recap of what we have discussed today. I will just move one by one all the slides, so that you can register all these things that we have discussed today in your minds, and then we will carry forward in the next class. I am now going to end the session in next 10 minutes after just putting these slides again for you guys. Okay, so please do not worry. It is my responsibility to take care of you. So don't ever feel that uh, it will be not taken care of. So I'm just putting on the show once again, so that all of you can just go through it, and rest of the things I will be taking up in the next sessions. Of course, economics is a very interesting subject. You will all like studying it, and I'll be taking it from my office studio, so that will be a better session to look forward to when I am in my office. Yes, you are all welcome to Easy Economics. I'll try and make economics as interesting as I can, with all the case studies and all. So that is microeconomics. This is macroeconomics. It deals with aggregates. It deals with the nation as a whole. Basic problem of an economy. Major macroeconomic problems. Then we talked about meaning of managerial economics. Then we covered managerial economics. What is it? The definition. Scope of managerial economics. What all are we going to cover in managerial economics? This includes the basics. Then we are going to cover up the functional analysis and the relationship analysis in the next class, that is correlation and regression analysis. We will be covering up in the next class. Then we will be coming to what are these functions. Then we are going to cover up the next chapter, that is demand and supply, in the next session. So that is what is the plan. We will be taking out basics first, and then we will graduate to demand and supply as a chapter. That is what is the plan, and we will be taking up this session in the next on next Sunday, that I'll be taking from my office studio. So I will be just logging out of it. All the best, all of you, for your studies, for your subjects that you are about to read and understand in this management field. Okay, then we'll be covering up this next Sunday. I hope all of you have understood whatever I have tried to talk about. I just hope. Great, great, great. Yeah, I will explain, Tanjeet. In the next session, I am going to explain the last 2 slides. Whatever I have missed, I have not taught, I will be teaching in the next session. Don't worry.